Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Angela, the director of the Center on the Hill, and you are tuning in for another episode of Tell Me Something Good. And I'm here with my special guest, Letta. Say hi, Letta.
Hi!
Tell us where you live, Letta. Where do you live?
I live in Germantown, and I am not that far away from Mary Angela, so
Awesome.
West Philly. Woo!
Great. Well, we're really glad to have you. We're going to spend just a little time talking. Again, I'm going to be using the game. Well, it's not really a game, but it's a deck of cards. It's called Storywise, the Common Ground Edition, and it is 144 thoughtful ways to bond with a fellow human. And I got this from Patriot Senior Living last summer, and it's been great. So without further ado, I'm going to, at random, draw 3 cards. Let's see, here's our first one. Cool. So it's got this great picture. Here's the picture. Can you see that?
Yep, I can see it.
It's the Beatles.
Yeah, happy toast.
This says, a live performance you have never seen but wish you could. So I'll start here, and this is real easy. Hamilton. I have wanted to see them since like before it was on Broadway, since it was at the Public Theater, and it was just a whisper of like this show is happening and it's really cool. And I was like, I would love to see this live. And of course, it came to Philadelphia, and tickets sold out immediately, and I couldn't get tickets. And I've never been able to get tickets to Broadway. I signed up for the lottery for a few years to try and they would call you and be like, you've got 2 hours to get to New York and claim these tickets. Yeah. I would do it. But no, that never happened. So that is a live performance that I would have loved to see, but have not yet. How about you, Letta?
Well, recently it's been Dear Evan Handler. I don't know why. I saw Wicked. I love Wicked. I love Avenue Q. That one and Legally Blonde. I just want to see either one of them. But Legally Blonde and Evan Handler are kind of like, together. Like, I'm really excited to see either one. And they both came to Philly. And I think this year I was going to start going to see more theater. But, we'll see what happens in the fall.
Here's hoping.
Here's hope.
Yeah, I've never seen Legally Blonde, the musical, but I do know that Dear Evan Hansen is a great show. I have the script. So when it first came out, I ordered the script so that I could listen to the soundtrack and read the script along with it. And it's great. It's a good show. It's a really good show. I'm with you on that. I would love to see that. Here's the picture.
Okay.
And
Got
this
it.
says, advice you didn't take but wish you had. You get to
I think, well, I know the advice was from my grandma, who said that I should always make sure to take time for myself over, because, she was talking about airlines. She said, first thing they tell you is to put the mask on yourself and then put the mask on somebody else. And I never did that. I always looked out for everybody else. And when my mom was dying, it was really hard because it was like I had no opportunity to get a breath. And then, so I was always taking care of her, and I missed out on some stuff, even though my mom told me to take time out and enjoy it. But I'm glad I did spend that time with her anyway. But now it's all about me, because it is 2020 and I'm about to do me. That's right. So, I'm down to 6 days a week working. So it's good.
There you go. Congratulations. That's awesome. Everybody needs that 7th day off, for real. For me, I think it really had to do with my mother. So when I went to college in West Virginia, and after 3 years of college, I decided to leave for very good reasons. I was having trouble in my major, and I had a particular problem with the professor, and that's a whole nother story. But in the end, I ended up suing that university, and I got a settlement. And my mom said, you should come home. You should come back, or at least not home, but back to the East Coast, and leave West Virginia, leave that whole behind, start at a new school. You've got enough money now. You can kind of go to whatever school you decide you want to go to that's paid for. So really pick. And of course, there was a boy involved, and then I had friends and a guy. It always is. And I said, oh, no, I'm going to stay in West Virginia. I'll just move to another school. I'll move cities, which, I literally moved to a town 45 minutes from the town that I was in at the first school, but it was another school. And my mom said, I really don't think that's a good idea. There's so many more opportunities for you and in your major in theater and everything. If you come back to the East Coast, are great schools here. You don't have to live at home. You've got money for that now too. You can live wherever you want. And I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. It's fine. And really it came down to my friends and this particular boy, which of course didn't work out. And, my friends would have still been there even if I left. So I really wish I had listened to my mom and moved back east sooner. But instead I spent another 4.5 years in West Virginia, and they weren't bad years. And I did go to school and, studied musical theater at Marshall University, and that was great, but I should have taken her advice. Moms always know, right? Like they know.
Oh yeah.
And then this is the last one. There's my picture.
Okay.
And the question is, the biggest risk you've ever taken and how it worked out.
Oh.
So I have had previously, before moving to Philadelphia, had this habit of sort of packing up things and moving hundreds of miles away. Like I would be like, I've done enough time here. I'm going to pack up all my things and I'm going to move. And wherever it was I was moving was usually at least like 300 or 400 miles away from the place I had been. Because I don't know, because I wanted to, who knows? It was always something. And most of them were fairly risk-free. I was either moving close enough to family where I could, still feel connected, or close enough to like good friends that I would consider family where, felt like I had a safety net. But then in 2004, I was at a barbecue and a friend of mine who worked in theater with me said, has anybody here thought about like maybe moving to Chicago? Because Chicago has a lot of theater and it'd be really fun. And I was like, my stepbrother lives in Chicago and I've visited once and it seems okay. Like I haven't really given it much thought, but that seems kind of cool. And he says to me, would you be interested in like moving to Chicago, like be a roommate of mine and like, let's just go. And I didn't have I had a stepbrother out there, but we weren't particularly close. And I had no other family. And I literally would have been like 700 or 800 miles away from the closest relative. And I didn't have a job lined up. I literally was like, okay, I will sell all my things, including my car, and we'll just pack everything up and move to Chicago. And I'm going to hope that I get a job in theater or in something related and I can start. So that was probably the biggest risk I ever took. It worked out really well because I ended up getting my first job at an actual theater doing box office, which is what led to my job at the Kimmel Center, which is what brought me here to Philadelphia. And I've been here for 12 years. So I consider that a big risk, but I consider it a good one that paid off.
Yay. Yeah, that's good. That was good.
What about you?
And then I get to do so. For me, it was moving to California. Ever since I was 12 years old, my dad moved to California when I was 3. And every year I would go out there for the summer. And my dad was in movies and stuff. And he was a key grip for a lot of movies and stuff. And he was like, you should move out to California and be in the movies. And I was like, you're crazy. I want to be a doctor. Whatever. My big dream was like to go to medical school, and do that. But as I got older, I realized, I just need to get out of Philly. That was my main goal. Just get out of Philly, apply for whatever college. So I got into USC and UCLA, and I was going to go to medical school at UCLA. But for some reason, I guess it was my dad or whatever, I kept going, you know what, maybe I should try theater or film or something. So I went out there, I got a scholarship, I moved out there, and it was like the best 4 years of my life. I ended up going to community college first because at the time, the universities were like, freshmen shouldn't be on campus. And I just happened to be there when it was the first thing that happened was the Rodney King riots. That happened. So I was lucky because I was actually a photojournalism major and I was already down there. So I got pictures and stuff. And that was amazing and scary. Yeah, it was terrifying. And then the Northridge earthquake hit the last year I was there. And that was even more terrifying because I'm like, why is this earth moving? I met some of my lasting friends who I have now still to this day. And it was risky, but it was the best time, in my young adult life. And I'm so glad I did. And so my mom was mad, but I had to live my life. So,
and you came back. I mean, you're back in Philly, so it's not like you went away forever. California didn't swallow you whole.
yeah. I mean, I was like, I'll figure out my life later. So now I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be home. So
there you
my
go.
new thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, share, you out there that are watching, please share your thoughts and feelings about these 3 topics. I'll read them for you again, just to recap. A live performance you have never seen but wish you could. Advice you didn't take but wish you had. And the biggest risk you have ever taken and how it worked out. Email your answers to me at msaavedra@chestnuthillpress.org. That's msaavedra@chestnuthillpress.org. Or leave them for me in the comments. I love to hear from you. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you, Letta, for being with us. This was so much fun. I appreciate your thoughts on these topics. These were great. And I hope you stay well. And I hope you all out there stay well and take care and be safe. And we'll see you next time for Tell Me Something Good. Bye, everybody.
Take care.